Well, don't be fooled by this diversion. The topic today is death. But I wanted to start with a little something that had a flavor of vibrance to it. Don't worry, be hopey. During this last week or so, I've been struck by two particular things that just hit me, they just hit me. One was Shabadin's snippet, his discourse about when we die and after that. And let's listen to that now.
Path is something that we are in a relationship with beyond our last breath on earth.
I will be in this relationship even beyond my last breath. And when I heard that, it was just like, whoa. It just struck me as like there's no escaping from this, my path. You can do it now or do it later, or, I don't know if there'll be regrets later, but gosh, it struck me so deeply. And then it turned out that as I was doing some of these videos in the last week, I was trying to reposition myself, and I ended up noticing something. I noticed was I was looking at my monitor at my laptop sitting on my lap, and I was looking at it like I was looking at something else. Like, what is this I'm looking at? Like it was an object and I was away from it. And I was looking at my own body breathing. And I was fascinated by it. I couldn't quite tell why I was kind of fascinated by it. I think for a little while I was separated from this body, and it was just a body that was breathing. It was naturally breathing, and it will naturally stop breathing. And I know my last breath is coming. I don't say this is some awful thing. It's the realization that it's going to happen. It's a certainty. My last breath will come. And that's, Shabadin says, it's not even enough. Even after your last breath, your relationship to yourself, to your path, to the path, which is the relationship with self, with the one, it's still going to continue. It's still going to be important. It's still going to somehow evolve or be present. And of course, what I was reminded of is when you get to the pearly gates, you will be held accountable, right, for all your sins and all your pluses and minuses, that kind of idea. Well, I don't believe that, but I've always felt I was somehow accountable to myself. That it mattered to me. And in fact, I'd even have said it in the past. In my last breath, I didn't want to have the feeling of regretting any big issues, It's a little bit like as you move towards death, there's also a clearing away of the desk. And sometimes it even can relate to karma of some sort. I don't quite know. But so this topic of death is a big one for me, very, very big one. And Shabadin did 2 retreats in Seattle in the previous 12 months with death. And could summarize that in one simple phrase, it is letting go. Learning and experiencing letting go. There's a practice, I think it's called the Amal practice, in which you're losing consciousness and connection to parts of the body. It's as if they're disappearing. And then we did a difficult practice recently, which is the practice of 15, in which we're letting go of aspects of ourself, of things that we love, of our deep connection with life that is so important to us, and we're letting them go. And letting them go, letting go.